I've always loved to incorporate other materials into my creations, and then I came across plastic bottle top. I felt I could actually use it and paint with it without actually using any paints. You know, they come in various colors, so it was easy for me to put them side by side and create art with it. The first thing that came to mind is because of the colors I saw. I came across lots of them at a place, and then I was attracted to the multiple colors. So I was thinking that I can use this, and then the idea that I would be doing that by helping to take this waste from around then came into it. And then as a creative person, yeah, I can do something different. I always want to do it different. And so the passion just came in one after another. Yeah, I'll be painting with it. I'll be creating something different with it. Oh, this is a recycling idea. So it was just coming in one after the other. The first creation I made of it when I was trying to know the material was in 2016. But the idea had come into me in 2015. That was when I thought I would be gathering the tops, the covers on my own, you know, and see what I can create with it. So the first one I did was in 2016. It's been interesting. It takes time, because the method I am using is different. I'm not nailing it. I'm not sticking it to a board. I'm not sticking it to a ground. I drill holes in it, and it goes through it. It takes time to bind them together, arranging them, sticking them, soldering it, and then stringing it to the frame. So each time I'm making this art, I spend weeks doing it. And it is a bit painful because it takes a lot of energy, and then I do enjoy the process though, don't get me wrong, but everything always comes with its own little or mild challenges. I add the idea of the toothpick aside. I also use pure water nylon to paint on as well. So that is me experimenting with materials. And then I also use a rubber. I don't know if you're familiar with it, this black thread rubber. Yeah, I have a series of work I've done in that line. So as an artist, I always want to use something different. So the bottle covers is just one out of many, but it is the only art I create where I don't use paint per se. I'm an emotional person, and then I try to make my art speak either for myself, for someone, or for a circumstance. Okay, even when I use bottle covers, I make sure that there's a message in it. There are two works of a kind that I've done. I call them missing piece. So if you look at it, you would see the puzzle out of the entire work. The reason it's that way is that I figure out that human would always have desires, things that we look forward to achieve, a goal that we set. So every of my creation will always have a title that is relatable. Every of my work would have a message, either for a personal person. It can even be for me, that I'm trying to let others know. So any other person feeling that way would be able to connect. So every of my work would have a message, irrespective of the material I'm using. I'll pick one I call art, that is ART. ART is assisted reproductive technology. It has to do with conception, where couples are finding it challenging to conceive of a baby, and then they will have to go through many means of making it happen, you know, to the extent that they will have to resort to getting this art. That's what we call IVF in doing it. So a lot of people are going through such challenges, and by the time they eventually have the conception, it's hooray, like excited. So the work behind me with the black wriggly things is talking about conception. Yeah, so you will see the sperm cells going towards a female egg released, and then you would also see that one of the sperm cells managed to go through into the egg that is being released, and then that is where it happens. So the message there is from me to someone else that is thinking of it. When I was doing that, I was looking forward to conceiving, and it was taking forever. So the idea came to me, and eventually I did conceive, but I didn't have to go through the IVF. I was thinking of it like perhaps then, and then it happened, and then I have twins out of it. So I was excited, a boy and a girl. The materials, I usually pack the ones I use around. I pick some on the way, and then I go, because of the numbers that I need, I had to go to recycle plants. That's where I gather them from. I gather them by their colors, and then I bring them home. I'll have to wash them, I have to disinfect them, I have to sun dry them, and then before I bring them in, to start sorting them by their colors. And then when they are in their bags of colors, I can then create according to what I have with me. So every piece of colors that you see was intentional. Like, it has to be this blue, it has to be this red, it has to be this shade of green, because I want to paint with it. I just didn't want it to be plain. For the art lovers, I'll start with those, because art is in a way different how you relate to it. Some people prefer works that are realism. Some prefer abstracts. Some prefer unusual one. I would like to say mine is one of the unusual. So for art lovers that would like it, they would like, oh, it's beautiful, I would like to acquire it, I would want to have this. I mean, I've had a couple of them that would, I like this, yeah, it's different from normal paints on canvas, I want to have this. And then I've had the other kind of people that are like wowed by it. Wow, ooh, it's made up with covers, yeah, that's lovely, but they really don't want to have it, but they like it. They just like it to see, to touch. And then it's been encouraging, because for everyone that come in contact with it, they are wowed by it. And the question is like, how did you think about it? How did you manage to source for this? How did you even think that you can couple them and in this manner? And I'll just tell you, it's something that came to mind, something I managed to try to see how to do it. And then I'll tell you that over the years, I've learned to do it differently. And then I found out that I can actually do it as big as possible, as long as the space to arrange them is created for me. Everything starts from the mind. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? So I would think of it, then I'll put it into my papers, that I'll draw it out. Okay, is this possible? Will I be able to get this exact shape or something similar to it? Yeah, okay, this way. How big do I want it to be? Because for this kind of thing, the bigger it is, the better for you to be able to arrange it as such. So the smallest of my works is about 3 by 3 that I have done. So for you to be able to appreciate the work put into it, it has to be large. Okay, so I would usually, after sketching it, arrange them. I do this on the floor because that's the widest of the surface that I can have. I would put them to the floor, arrange them by the colors, and then the more I arrange, the more I'm seeing how I would want it to look like. Well, some changes could come in between it as I'm doing it, but then again, that is why it is a creation. So some ideas come up, others are subtracted from it, and then I'll have to staple them up. I use staple gun, tacker. So I put them together so that I can have it as a whole piece like that. So thereafter, I'll drill holes into every bottle covers, because the works are usually suspended in between the wooden frame. So I have to put in holes through every bottle covers on all sides to enable me to pass in the fishing lines into it and hang it onto the frame. The easiest of it, I'll tell you, is the beginning. Why? Because one, I'm an artist, so I know what I'm doing. I know how I would want my colors to be. So I will arrange it, assemble it on the floor. That's the easiest. Afterwards, I will have to take a picture of it if I don't want it to be scattered. But if I can manage it, I don't have to take it, I leave it as such. But in the process of pinning it, I still have to take a picture to guide me, because there are tendencies that this thing will scatter and I won't know what piece belongs where, except I can reference my picture. So it takes days. The longest I've spent on arranging, stapling and drilling is 4 weeks. Yeah, that's the longest. Shortest will be arranging, can be done in a day. I usually do it in a day because I want to be done with it. The second one can be done in 3 days, that is stapling it. The longest, okay, the next one will be soldering the rubber, putting holes in it. That takes longest, followed by putting it to the frame. So I'll say 1.5, thereabout. Yeah, but that also means I'm doing it every day. I don't do it every day because of the body ache that comes from bending to do it and then applying my force and all that. So I usually give gaps right after stapling it. Once it's in a single piece, I can actually rest and be doing the whole thing every now and then till I'm done with it. Then the stringing, I go there, do it, leave it, do it, you know, so that I don't overwhelm myself. My name is Olufunke Esekhalu Ojukwu. I'm an artist, and these are my magic.